Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? My name is Angela, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about TikTok Shop. I have an embroidery business. See some machines behind me, and I have a shop on TikTok. My business name is Angela Jasmina. It's my name. It's my YouTube channel. So if you want to shop anything that I have to offer, you can do so at angelajasmina.com. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to mention that I will be at the Impressions Expo in Long Beach, California on January 19th and 20th. You can come find me. And that show is where you can find all the garment decorating methods, machinery, and all that there. So, you know, you'll see stalls, you'll see Melco, you'll see like all the embroidery machine companies, direct-to-garment printers, direct-to-film printers, pretty much everything. There's heat transfer vinyl there. There's just a lot that you can see there. So if you want to see more and learn more about the industry and just be able to touch and see things in motion and in action, you can come and check that out. Again, it's in Long Beach, California at the Convention Center on the 19th, 20th, and 21st, but I will only be there the 19th and 20th. This was one of the highly requested videos that you guys have asked for. You guys wanted to know more about TikTok Shop and my experience. So I have been selling on TikTok Shop since like July. We had our first viral video in July. And you know what's crazy about the video that went viral? I was telling my husband, my number one goal was to get people to purchase from angelajasmina.com instead of just from Etsy. And I wasn't sure how to do that. And then I was like, well, let's try TikTok Shop. Like, I kept telling him, TikTok Shop, TikTok Shop. Let's sell on TikTok Shop. Like, you can get a lot of exposure on that platform. And I posted like 3, 4, 5, 6 videos, nothing. My husband's like, hey, why don't we sell this Halloween design? Like, I think this would do very well on TikTok. And I'm like, well, sure. You want to do TikTok all of a sudden after I've been mentioning it. And I post the video and it goes viral. His idea. His, not mine, his. But all in all, it was still a great experience. Now, we learned a lot from that one viral TikTok because it was kind of our first hoorah with TikTok Shop and the huge amount of orders. We ended up getting like over 2,500 orders. And let's just say it was definitely a learning experience. Staffing issues, because it's at this time it was only Janelle, Keenan, Tyler, and I. That's it. The whole team. That was it. And having 2,500 orders, we had 2 less machines. We learned a lot. All right, so I have my computer here so I can look at some of the statistics, the analytics, and stuff, so I can give you guys some more information. So my first sale on TikTok was July 6th of 2023, and till the end of December, so December 31st, we ended up getting 7,608 sales. That's crazy. That's insane. That's up 760,000%. So that just tells you like the new customers, new reach, and everything that TikTok has. That's one of the biggest benefits. I don't ever think you should just sell on one platform. I think you should sell on multiple platforms, and that's what we did. Because Etsy is up and down, and Etsy you're with your next to your competitors, and that's what I like about TikTok Shop is they know who to push your content towards. And I feel like whether it's AIs or whatever it is, they know who your target audience is, which is what helps tremendously. Now, TikTok Shop has changed a lot since we first started. So a few things that we learned with TikTok while we went viral was the 3-day processing time. Now, all the orders that come in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all have to ship on Wednesday. So we learned very quickly Wednesday is very heavy. So if we get 50 orders like on a Monday, it's fine because they have to ship Thursday. You just have to make 50 that day. But if you get 50 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sunday, not Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you have 150 now that have to ship by Wednesday. So we very quickly learned that we definitely have to work on the weekends, even if it's for an hour or 2, just to get the embroidery done. That way, when Wednesday comes, we're not slammed with orders, trying to get cut, pack, and shipped on one day, because things happen. I have children, so kids get sick, kids don't have school a certain day, kids need to get picked up early. A lot of stuff happens, so trying to plan for Wednesdays. So like I said, the biggest perk to TikTok Shop is a new pool of customers that you may have not have been able to reach previously. Also, getting your brand known. When selling on other platforms, they just know, oh, I bought it from this platform, but now they're following your TikTok, which for me is Angela Jasmine. So they follow the brand, they see the future things you post, and then TikTok gives coupons. So that is another perk. I've never got coupons from other platforms that I've sold on. So for instance, say I have a sweatshirt for $40. For a lot of first-time customers, TikTok funds that 50% coupon. So they're paying $20 for it, but I'm still getting paid the full $40. So that's a perk. And then during like holiday times, they run sales. They give just discounts. Now, the discount isn't the same for each and every customer. They say like depends maybe on if they bought off the platform before or if they have a certain amount of followers. Then they give different discounts to different people. But I mean, they're more likely to buy it because hey, they get it for a cheaper rate. Like some people have been paying like 1 penny for items, some $5. And if I'm getting a sweatshirt for $5, I'm just gonna buy it just to see and test the quality. And then there's a lot of return customers that I've seen on TikTok as well. Another big question I know a lot of you have is regards to like the fee. How much does TikTok take per sale? So TikTok takes 30 cents, it's a processing fee, plus a 2% referral fee. Yeah, 2%, that's it, that's like nothing. Now TikTok also, because I choose to buy my own shipping labels, I don't use a TikTok platform to buy my shipping labels. I import everything to my Shopify and I buy my shipping label straight through Shopify. They do give me a shipping fee, shipping subsidy. What do they call it? Let me check real quick. So yeah, the $5, it is called a shipping fee subsidy. So it was about $5, but the order has to be over a certain amount. So I believe it has to be over $20. Now I said TikTok changes their rules very frequently, but they're refunding me the $5 because they were giving free shipping to customers. But because I'm choosing to ship through Shopify, I don't get that free shipping. So they're just refunding me or giving me a $5 subsidy per order over $20. So I do want to speak a little bit more about the 3-day processing time. Now you can choose 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days for your processing time. I choose 3 days because our shop is made to order, so nothing is already embroidered. We make it as it comes in. And what that 3-day processing means is I have 3 days, 72 hours from when that order comes in to when it has to be actually scanned at the post office or UPS. Now it actually has to get an acceptance scan. You can't just print the shipping label. That does not count. It needs to have an acceptance scan. So that's when the shipping manifest comes in handy, because a lot of people at the post office want to give you attitude when you come in there with 200-300 packages because they don't want to ship them individually or scan them individually. I mean, you can go to the kiosk and get them scanned, or you can just print out the manifest from either Shopify, or I believe TikTok Shop has finally come out with that manifest option. And then it's one form, one barcode for them to scan, and that is for the post office. UPS, they always scan in their items individually, so they have no issue scanning each and every item. Now, always make sure you get your receipt, because sometimes, for some reason, there's some glitches with TikTok Shop, and the tracking number shows it was never scanned in, and you can get violation points on your shop. So you want to make sure you have your receipt. That way you can scan it as proof. Hey, I did ship this on time. It was accepted. That way you can get the violation points taken off. I know I talk fast. I'm trying to talk slower. I apologize. Now, another thing to note is the customer will get refunded if your item is not scanned in within 7 days. It's automatic. There's nothing you can do about it. So I've had that happen a few times where I actually shipped the item, but it was not updating in TikTok system. Now I've shipped, like you said, 7,000 items, so it's been like 3 or 4, so not many. Sorry, I have burps. Not many did not update, so they automatically got refunded and they still got their item. I reached out to the customer. A lot of them will just place the order again, just to make sure I got my money for it. But it does happen sometimes, unfortunately. Like I said, it's a newish platform, so things happen. They're making updates and such, but that has happened. If you don't ship it out within the 3 days, let's say you ship it on the 4th day, it's not a problem, but you may get violation points because it is technically late within Shopify's terms, but you still get paid for that item. Now, how does payments work? So Shopify it's like a reserve. So you don't get paid right away when you ship an item. You don't get paid until it is delivered. Now, delivery plus, it used to be 15 days. They've changed it to 8 days, 5 days, or 1 day. So standard settlement, that's what they call it, a settlement, is 8 days after it's delivered, you will get your settlement, you'll get your money. That's for standard. Then there's accelerated, which is what I currently have, which is 5 days after it's delivered, I will get my money. And then express is 1 day. I've been in express before, but because I had shipped items out late, my express got taken from me. It was my fault though, so can't really be mad. So I'm currently in accelerated, so I will get paid 5 days after. Now it does take about 1 to 2 days to process at the bank, but I do have it. And then you can always see, it's called on hold, how much money I have on hold, how much I have processing, and how much is paid. They have those for you to see, and it includes which orders are in that category. Also, since being on TikTok Shop, I've had a few videos go viral. Now, another perk of TikTok is that your content is like evergreen, meaning like it doesn't have to be a video you post today that goes viral. I have a video that I posted a few months ago that I didn't get any sales off, nothing. All of a sudden, it went viral in the last month, and we've ended up with like over 700 sales on that item. And like I said, I posted that 3-4 months ago, and it did nothing. And I was like, okay, well, on to the next one. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 here come these orders. So don't get discouraged if you post something and you don't have a lot of sales right away off of it. You never know what you post. So that is my content strategy with TikTok, is just post things I like, continuously post, and you just never know. If I like it, maybe somebody else will like it, maybe they don't. I thought it was a fail when I posted that video, but hey, it picked up and it did very well. So for me, those are kind of like the good things about TikTok, how it kind of works. Now, in regards to things that I would change or I don't like about TikTok, the customer service. So the customer service, there really isn't any. It's really all AIs and robots. So if you have an issue, it's hard to find somebody to speak to. My account, I do have now I guess like account manager, I would call it. That because of my TikTok Shop sales, I do have a designated person that I could speak with. I think she lives in California, so if I have any questions, I ask her. But again, TikTok is such a new platform, all on robots, and they definitely need to get like a customer service center, people you can actually speak with. So that's one of the drawbacks if you have an issue with TikTok Shop, is there's no one really to talk to. They do have the appeals process. If they do something on accident, you can appeal it, but it's not always guaranteed that it will get appealed, because it's robots flagging stuff. Now in regards to like customers reaching out to you, either they message you privately on TikTok, or they can do the shop chat feature for the TikTok Shop. In the shop chat, it's nice because someone automatically responds to them, because it's, like I said, it's a bunch of robots. If they have like easy questions like, hey, when is my order gonna ship, TikTok will automatically send them a message, and it's like, hey, you can find it here, here, and here. So it does help in that aspect. You don't have to respond to each and every message, but sometimes they're asking like, hey, how can I get a refund, or hey, when is my order gonna ship, certain questions, and they get an automatic response, and I'm like, hey, sorry, it's shipping tomorrow. Or, that's the only, it goes both ways on whether it's helpful or not. Now, I did mention that with Shopify, I use SKUIQ. It's an app to sync both my Shopify and my TikTok account. That way, all the orders are on one platform versus going back and forth and possibly missing an order. SKUIQ is not free. I pay for it, and it is on the expensive side, but for the headache that there was when I first started TikTok Shop, they didn't have a Shopify TikTok app. Now there is, and it's free, but again, it's new, so there's obviously going to be some bugs and issues. And if I were to switch over, I would lose like all my sales statistics and stuff for my shop, so I don't know if I want to do that. With SKUIQ, I definitely have had issues, but the number one issue when TikTok first came out, TikTok Shop, is you couldn't see customer names, so you were matching like order numbers, which is like 20 numbers, trying to match them up, and I didn't like that you couldn't see the customer name. So with SKUIQ, it eliminated that issue, so I can see like the order number, and it was so much easier to match up shipping labels. Now I've had a few issues with SKUIQ. Every time Shopify or TikTok Shop updated something, SKUIQ has to catch up and update. So I had like issues with my tracking numbers not transferring over, so then I had to manually transfer the shipping number or the tracking number over to TikTok Shop, which was a bit frustrating when you have over like 200-300 orders to do that manually. Also, sometimes orders didn't transfer over with the order name, so that was also frustrating because TikTok they all showed as customer name was TikTok order, but then when you brought the shipping labels, it was fine, but you have to like search on Shopify with like the TikTok order number. Again, it works, I know, and I'm used to it now, but in the beginning it was a bit frustrating because I was just used to shipping with Shopify. You see order names, customer names, stuff like that, but you get used to it. Another issue right now with TikTok Shop is the partial refunds. There aren't partial refunds. Unfortunately, I make mistakes, and there'd be like 2 sweatshirts that they ordered of the same thing, and I would think it's one. Now, I can't partially refund them for that order, and then there isn't exchanges either. So the best way to do an exchange is for them to just request a refund and ship it back to me and then place a new order. That's the quickest and easiest way. But I believe that's the only annoying, not so much bad, but things I just don't like. The 3-day processing, the exchanges, there's certain things that they can do better. But again, overall, for the exposure and sales that I'm able to get, I'm grateful for the platform that it exists. But those are pretty much the only things they came out with. Like I said, the shipping manifest, which was a big issue in my opinion for them, because there's so many orders, and the post office does give you issues on scanning each and every item individually because they just say they don't want to. All right, so a brief rundown of how the whole TikTok Shop user interface works is the video will pop up on somebody's page, on their For You page, and you'll see a video, and it's shoppable, it's clickable. So you'll see a little icon that says, in my case, Stronger Than the Storm t-shirt. You click on that, and it'll bring up the listings. They select size, everything, they add to cart, they buy it. Once they buy it, you'll get a notification if you have the seller app on your phone that you have an order. The order came in, and then you can look at it on the computer. Mine transfers over to my Shopify, so I get double notifications from Shopify. And then you just make it. You ship it as you normally would on Shopify. It's a very similar interface on Etsy. You just ship it, buy the shipping label, print it, take it to the post office, get scanned in, and that's it. It's a very simple interface. But like I said, I use the Shopify interface. I don't know about the TikTok interface for the seller. I don't buy shipping labels through there. I just see the orders, and I just do everything on Shopify pretty much. Only thing I look on TikTok for is they do break it down to you. It tells you how many orders you have to ship, how many returns you have, any messages, if you have anything in low in stock, or if you have any negative reviews. You have to pay attention to your shop health. It just affects your violations. So it gives you a weekly performance, shows seller fault cancellation rates, late dispatch, valid tracking rate. So seller fault cancellation has to be less than 2.5%. Like I said, this is when sometimes the order doesn't get scanned in, or let's say you canceled on your own because you don't have the stock. Late dispatch rate is if it gets scanned in late at the post office. Valid tracking rate is how many times you actually put a real tracking number and it actually gets scanned in. Negative reviews need to be less than 0.5%. And it's just violation, risk control, all of that. It also will show you what type of settlement you have. Like I said, mine is accelerated. And with the orders to ship, it tells you how many need to ship within 24 hours, so you can make sure you're not missing any orders. So that's what I really use the TikTok Seller Center for, is to make sure there aren't any orders that I'm missing on Shopify that actually need to ship. I've had once or twice where there's an order that didn't transfer over to my Shopify. It sucks, but it happens. Also, you need to keep in mind TikTok is in California time. So I thought oh, my orders from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all done, because on my Shopify it shows Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm done. And I looked, there was 12 orders or 13 orders that came in up until 3 a.m. So it has to be past 3 a.m. if you're Eastern Standard Time. That it still counts as Sunday. So keep that in mind. It's gotten me a few times. That's what I learned when we went viral, because when you're going viral, a lot of your orders come in after midnight. So I'd have 60 extra orders, and I'm they're late. So we had to stay till 3, 4 a.m. So keep that in mind. I just realized I totally forgot to mention that when you first start your TikTok shop, you do have an order limit that TikTok puts on your shop, meaning you can only get a certain amount of orders in a day. So if you're selling as an individual, then your limit is about 100 orders a day. So once you hit 100, it'll stop accepting orders. But then once midnight hits, or 3 a.m. if you live Eastern Standard Time, then the hold is withdrawn, and then you can get orders again up until 100. Now, if you're LLC, the limit is 200 per day. And this lasted, I think, about 2 weeks for us. It was a while until we proved that we can keep up with the sales, and then they took the hold off. So like I said, this video is January 2nd, so things may have changed since January 2nd. Like I said, they're making updates daily, so some of this information may not be relevant after January 2nd. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was informative, please give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want more content or enjoy content around embroidery, small business, TikTok shop. If you have any other type of questions, leave them down below. Anything I didn't answer, I'm sorry. I tried to be as broad as I could. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. So this video has been highly requested by a lot of you. You wanted to know more about... Dang, you just gonna cough in my I don't know what I said. I gotta start again.